Hi there. Sounds good. I've got it on a normal, regular cycle. I started it on a super wash. It is now just doing its normal routine. It's neutral draining properly now, so that's good. This thing really vibrates too. Hey Kelly, how's it going? Yes, I have the old transmission over there, and I have a 1995 transmission installed. And so far it seems to be working perfectly. I've already ran a super wash, so it is neutral draining. And now it's on the normal cycle in advanced. And we've got about a minute before it goes into the spin, or drain, now that it's actually working. I don't know. I might keep it in case my D2000 transmission dies, and then I'll have a spare, because mine relies on it not draining. Oh, we got more chats. TG says, yeah, we are doing slow. This has, on the hood, it advertises the gentle wash system. So what that means is that it will do a slow agitation halfway through the main wash. And that's how that functions. I know, right? I never have those. Anyways. Here we go. It was good. I'm good, GRN. And now we're gonna go into spin. Oh, that's perfect. Oh yeah, it has been a while. But there you go. And look at that perfect clutch. It got right up to speed. Yep. While I've got it, I'm gonna move this back into its position where it needs to be. So I'll just let you watch it from over here. I'll fix the camera angle in a second, guys. I'll put the camera back right where it should be. And now we're rinsing. The dryer is a 2009 or 2010 dryer. I don't know that this agitator is available anymore, but if you can find it, then that would be good. Show you on the timer. It's on rinse now. There we go. That's better. Even if I turn this off. Leave the light on for now. Yes, it was. Five years later, finally. This washer has had, I believe, 2 or 3. The first repair was before we bought it. I believe he put a new pump and a new clutch. Although, don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. This is going to go into spin. And then the second repair was the cold water inlet. That's failed. We had that changed. And now I had the transmission replaced. So that was that. And yeah, it's working just fine. I think I remember that, but I'm not sure that if I'm thinking of your videos or Ryan's washer videos. Oh. Oh yeah, clutch is in wonderful shape. So now that cycle is complete. So I'll get the next cycle going, which is just to rewash what was already in here before I came. Me neither. I don't know why. washing. Yeah, Henry, you're absolutely right. This machine, I imagine, is like the mid-range. I wouldn't call it really low-end, because it is a super capacity and a 2-speed, so I'd call it mid-range. But yeah, it's a pretty nice unit. This is about to pause. The delicate cycle on this does an intermediate soak. So now we're going to have a 2-minute soak, and then after the soak, it will then agitate for another 2 minutes, and then drain. I believe. No, it still runs without the switch. Which is nice. GRN, no. The soak is a full 2-minute increment of the timer, and it is indicated by a little arrow on the knob. So if you ever see a direct drive like this with the black panel, and you see that little arrow right next to light, that indicates a soak. Or what I think is a soak. I think on the top-end models, that's where it switches to the lower speed if you have a 3-speed. Not exactly sure. Interestingly, mine doesn't do that. Mine just agitates until it spins. And now we're back to agitation for the last 2 minutes of the cycle. And then it will do a proper spin and pump out. Well, pump out. It's not going to spin and pump out like mine, which is a good thing. I have... excuse me. I have plenty of laundry to do in this, but unfortunately I won't be getting it done tonight because, one, I don't live here, and two, it's their laundry. But at some point, the next time I come around, I'll do a couple of films for you guys so I can upload them in full quality. Yeah, my one likes to agitate on low. Oh, okay. For about 20 seconds. That's for the hand wash. This doesn't have that. This has a knit gentle cycle, which is just a delicate cycle. Whirlpools never really did hand wash. I don't think any of them did at this point. I don't think hand wash came along until like the mid-90s, mid to late 90s. But someone will correct me if I'm wrong. I know that Westinghouse had the 2-in-1 agitator, which was basically your normal agitator with the cover on it, and then if you took the cover off of it, you'd have a hand wash agitator. It was very puny and only meant for hand wash. No, it was pretty good. Okay, now we're going to go to a drain cycle. And drain is always full speed, so it's going to pump on full speed for 2 minutes, stop, and then we'll get a slow spin. I do remember that. I believe Scant Pair 2004 had one of those before he sold it. He wasn't a huge fan of the ramp activator. My Westinghouse. Interesting. How old is your Westie? Is it like a 60s? I'm guessing it's a 60s machine. It really doesn't look modern. Like, by the looks of it, it either looks like a really old 60s unit or a, like, mid-70s bottom-of-the-line machine. But given you said that it wasn't introduced yet, I have to assume it's like a 60s unit. Nice. I didn't even realize. Nice. But also, that's nice that it's that vintage. This was built in 1987, so about 18 years after your Westie was built. Westies have neutral drain solenoids? You might be thinking of Norge, Andrew. I don't believe Westies did that. If they did, I'd be surprised. But I think what you're thinking of is the Norges and Montgomery Ward machines from that era. Huh. Hi, it's Simba. Huh. Well, that's good. If anyone was to ask me, like, can you add a Kenmore? No, I don't have a Kenmore style agitator, and I'm not going to take this one out and swap it because this isn't my machine. The spin drain always drove me crazy too, 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, it annoyed me, believe me. I'm so glad that after 5 years, I finally was able to do this, because I've been waiting to do this for a really, really long time since I got it. I was desperately praying in my head that this wasn't going to slip into spin, and then I got it home and tested it, and it slipped into spin, and I was like, fuck. But I couldn't really do anything at the time, because I was only, like, what, 12? So, not much I could have done, but now that I'm older, you know, I was able to service it, so. It's a little chattery, but that's fine. Now it's gonna do its spin. The brake on this is quiet too. Like, as it brakes, it's a very smooth brake. This washer has 2 speeds, so high and low. This is the first agitator. Yep. I hate those 1-speed direct drives. I do. Hi, Pat Cola. How you doing? God bless. I've seen some of these machines. Those must be like the really late direct drives that were built cheap as shit. This one actually isn't built so cheaply. Yeah. How's your commercial Whirlpool doing? Hopefully good. I was gonna get one of those for my mother if this thing ever died, but now that I'm pretty good with these things, I don't ever plan on discarding it. I think that this is well good for service. Unfortunately, that one works. I think I have a couple times. Oh yes, it definitely is a beast. This thing is rock solid too, but I imagine that they're both kind of the same spec'd machine. I think the only real noticeable difference between yours and mine is that, well, yours and this model, because this isn't my machine, is that this one has a typical suspension, like traditional style springs, and a transmission, whereas the other one, yes. Interesting, drummer boy. Yeah, me too, Pat. I don't believe she wants to upgrade. She's really happy with this vintage unit, so I have no intent to make her get a new one. But if this, like, catastrophically fails, I have no problem helping her get that. Because I'm sure I can order it, or, do something like that. I've used the Whirlpool commercials at a hotel, and she seemed to really like those. Now we're on the delicate. Alright, let's see. These flexing agitators kind of have a weak agitation. I disagree with you on that. This thing does fairly well with a straight vein. Oh, absolutely, Pat. I plan to keep this running for as long as I can. That's why I swapped the transmission. I actually looked at the old one, which is over here, and the clutch was fairly well worn. Please ignore the mess of the basement. Again, I don't live here. But the clutch was pretty worn out. So it probably would have kept running for another 5 years, but I figure it's best to just swap it out. Because my plan is if I need to, like, emergency swap my transmission, that one doesn't neutral drain, so mine, it'll fit into mine without any issue. Even if it's a really crappy transmission, it'll just get me by if I needed to do that. That's an interesting question. Pat, I don't know. There might be a potentiometer on the control board itself, but I'm imagining not, since they seem to be pretty sealed as far as, like, they seem to be one unit, whereas this, like, it has all different components stretched across the board. But it might have a potentiometer, because if you think of, like, electronics, especially a control board, there's all those little pots on them, but I could be very wrong. I have to test my Whirlpool. Ha. Yeah, Apple can be a pain sometimes. Ask me how I know. Smyrtle 450 always laughs at me because I'm an Apple sheep. Oh, now we're gonna drain. That was quick. I wonder if that was a 2-minute rinse. Probably was. I'm not really a big fan of, if I'm not... Oh, wow. I must have missed something. Pat, what are you gonna check out? Oh, the control panel. I'm dense. That's okay. Yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of obsolete media as far as, like, computers goes. Like, I listen to records and tapes all the time and stuff, but I've never really gotten into old computers. I like having modern computing. But I'm sure it's a neat hobby to get into at some point, once I have, like, the real estate for all that, because, again, I don't really have a lot of room to collect stuff anymore. Not as much as I did a few years ago. So I really don't collect much anymore, but I enjoy the collections I do have. It's probably the best non-dual action agitator for the direct drive washer. Probably, opinion on the new Whirlpool washer with the removable agitator. That is a gimmick. That is like the gimmick of all gimmicks. I don't know who would fall for that. Oh, Andre's back. And it appears Pat's opening up his Whirlpool. Would you recommend washers with or without agitators? If you're getting a new washer, I would recommend going completely away from top loaders altogether, unless you get a commercial grade top loader like Pat's Whirlpool or the Maytag commercial or even a Speed Queen. Other than those three machines, I would basically just say forget it and get a front loader. Top loaders are great for reliability, but they're not great on efficiency. And for something modern, especially in a lot of different parts of the country right now, they really kind of are pushing for like more efficient units, whereas why I personally would get a front loader above anything else. I respect top loaders if they're built to a certain quality, of course. I mean, we all love top loaders, but in the modern market, top loaders just aren't feasible, especially now with all the fucking high efficiency bullcrap with the impellers and all that. They just don't work. I mean, look at the 565 I bought, my grandmother bought a while ago. It just did not clean, and then it broke 4 months in, and it's like, well, why did I waste my time with that? You can't have a gigantic tub with barely any bottom fins. That is true, Pat. The 5.0 cubic foot, or what was it, the 5.0 or 6.3, whatever, the impeller's the same size as what's in the 4.2s. Like, it's ridiculous. You look at these giant tubs, and then this little wash plate in the center. It's so stupid. The TC5 didn't go downhill. Okay, this might piss a couple people off. I'm really not a huge Speed Queen fan. I respect Speed Queen as a company as far as, like, what they make. I think that they make pretty decent machines, but from, like, a company standpoint, they're really kind of fishy. I haven't really liked them for a few years. It kind of started when they blacklisted Eugene from Lorraine Furniture, and from there I just never really felt the same about Speed Queen. They make pretty good machines, but I probably would never buy one, unless one was gifted to me or, you know, I wanted to buy one to try it. Oh yeah, Sean, I really want to go there. I'd like to get a D2000 tub in case mine rusts out, because my tub is beginning to rust at the stem. And I'd also like to source a D2000 transmission, because that thing over there is not something I want to keep in my machine long term. That's like an emergency situation, because that thing is just thrashed. I mean, honestly, and it's loud as like, it just needs to be retired altogether, I think. It had a good run, but you can't save them all. This thing almost sounds like a belt drive right now. I only have, like, one vacuum. I have two for the whole house, but I only have one. I'm not a vacuum enthusiast. They just suck things up, and it helps me clean my house. Ship some to me as well, lol. I mean, GRN, you don't have a D2000, do you? I know you have that nice Orbital and the nice 95. Which one? Which vacuums do I have? I have a Sharp. Or a Shark. Not a Sharp. It's a Shark. I don't know what kind. It swivels, and it's black. I'd love to get my hands on a Pentaswirl. Yes. 96. Yes, I know, GRN. You have that beautiful 96. This transmission's from 95. And I believe that's it. Okay. Well, these aren't spun out very well, so I'm going to put this on a high spin for you guys, so you can see that. I'm going to put this up here on high. Get a good view of that. There you go. Furnace is going to kick on, which is fine. So here we go. Right, because those machines had bearings, didn't they? I'm not a fan of them, but I don't have a giant problem with them as a whole. Yeah, me neither. GE front filter? Is that what that is? I don't know what an FF is. Oh, filter flow. I'm dense. It's a shame you can't find parts for the... that is a spin. Look at that. That is pretty fast. I do like the fast spins of these direct drives. Just to be certain I've got this set right. There we go. Reset the feet. Filter flows with the mini basket are absolutely great, probably because it is for a commercial setting. Pretty still as well, especially for the... Oh, yeah. You can't see it on camera, but when I put my hand here, like, yeah, it is vibrating. Unless you do get a 5-year warranty. Parts on the motor machine are basically NRLAs. That is true. And unfortunately, they are discontinuing more and more parts for these old guys. The pumps are on back order. At least I'm talking from an OEM standpoint. I know there's tons of Chinese companies making these parts, but from an OEM standpoint, they discontinued 2 timers and the pumps are on back order, which is really sad because these things will last forever. As long as you have the parts for them, they will run and run and run and run. They will run until their bodies rust away. They are like a car. And that's why I really, really love these old units. I can't stress how much I really like the older machines. New machines have their own quirks, and they are very versatile, and I do like them. Especially LG's range of front loaders. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. But, man, nothing just beats the reliability of these. Especially machines like my Orbital, which I know a lot of you will joke about. The Orbital, I mean, man, that was an absolute tank. It's a shame I got rid of it. I really wish I didn't. But anyways, GE filter flows were pretty good, but they were too busy with all the add-ons and filters and mini baskets. That's true, and also the fact that filter flows were a servicing nightmare, and they broke down quite frequently. Finding a board for my catalyst was an absolute pain. Filter flow is another washer that can be found in Australia. Oh, are you from New Zealand? Interesting. Windows parts for the DC Maytags. Ah, I see. I mean, you might be able to import one. I know the, what were they, Americana branded machines? They're pretty good. I don't know, for a couple years now. That's scary. I don't like that. Sean, I hate to break this to you, but if you were to do that, you would be so much, like, you would be in a money pit at that point. Those things are so expensive to make by today's standards. The reason why these machines, at least modern ones, are so cheap as they are is because inflation. The prices have gone so high that they need to cheapen the machines out to meet the prices people are willing to pay. I mean, a machine like this, sold today, you're looking at least $1,100, and nobody's going to pay $1,100 for a washer. At least not easily. Not one for this specification. You give them a nice fancy blue LED and, you know, eco steam and all that nice stuff, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's nice. But you give them a raggedy old white box like this, they're just going to turn a blind eye to it completely. These Flux fans kind of have weak agitation. Oh, I'm way far up. Jesus. Let's get back down. Oh yes, definitely. Haha, LEDs go burr, yes. I think the main goal in building these new computerizers is to save energy, but I mean, again, if you look at like a LG front loader, they are really good at cleaning, and they run on a DC motor. Now, because they're a DC motor, and especially direct drive motor, you're using the least amount of energy. Combine that with a DC pump that's easy to service, you have a generally really good machine, as well as the Turbo Wash 360. That just makes for an excellent performer and a semi-reliable. I mean, you get 7 to 10 years out of that machine. Maybe have to service it a couple times, but it'll easily last you 15 years. You just have to take care of them. A big thing of it, too, is people don't know how to use washing machines. I mean, for us, it's second nature, but for a lot of people who are just looking to buy a washer, they really don't know. Yeah, yours is even older than mine. Isn't yours from, like, July? I don't remember. Mine is from mine's from September of '89. And there's your full speed spin. I'm gonna leave that where it is. For those wondering, I'll give you a control panel tour. But I'm ready to get out of here because I'd like to go home. So here you have the water-saving load size. So you have 3. You have extra small, medium, large. 3 temperatures, and then the cycle selector is very basic as well. Again, please ignore how grimy this machine is. We try. Well, they try, I guess. Yep. Off. Permanent press. Niche gentle, which you saw. Regular, which you saw, at least from like normal upwards. And that's it. That's a suds return or a dry agitate. This doesn't officially do a suds return. And that's it. That's all there really is to it. And you lift it up. This machine was built on a Friday because the bleach dispenser doesn't go anywhere. It just drops the liquid down to the floor, which is really annoying. Oh. Let me see. I believe Pat uses email, but I could be very wrong. I've never really chatted with Pat, but he seems like a cool dude. I'm gonna leave the camera there for a minute. Oh, and there's, I'll show you guys the lid, too, if you guys want to read that. Oh, that's great. It just dumps the bleach. Yes, it's very annoying. I was talking about it on the phone. Oh, yes. Okay.
I'll break it. Because I have a temper, and if I don't know what I'm doing, I will use... Okay, all right. So that's what happens to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will show you guys the dryer for like a second. That's the dryer. It's a 2010. It has the timer over here, temperature, wrinkle guard, and then push to start with signal. And it's a 29-inch. And it's electric. There's no gas. You can see the electric plug right there. And that's an old Westy boiler. Or broiler, I mean. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And then actually, this is for Henry, because we were talking about this the other night. You can see the little tykes. Just about. Yeah. Little tykes. And then I have like a pinky Kenmore. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for tonight, because I gotta get going. But I wanted to just live stream this for you guys. Just pack up my tripod. Beautiful. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for participating. And I'll be active in Discord and whatever's once I get home. So feel free to message or comment, whatever. Until then, I will catch you guys later.